Does that so happen that whenever your partners leave or are sleeping, you feel the need to check their phones, their laptops? Do you call them quite often, again and again, to check where they are or who they are hanging out with? Or even in the worst case scenarios, do you feel the need to even spy on them? If you feel to do any of this video will definitely benefit you. In this video, I am going to be talking about where does this need of doubting your partner generate from, what are the consequences of doing it, and ultimately, I will be sharing with you some effective ways to stop doing that. My name is Divya Kakkad and I am a life mastery coach. I upload videos every single week on how to build sustainable and effective relationships, how to attain self-mastery, and how to boost emotional intelligence. Stay tuned till the end of the video. So let's start knowing how to stop doubting your partner. Let's begin with the reasons why you doubt in the first place. Why does doubt as a feeling exists in human system? So doubt as a feeling exists because it acts as a survival mechanism in the human systems, so that you hesitate before taking any action. Let's take an example where you hear some knocking at your door in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night, you are not very conscious and you go and open the door. If you did not have this feeling of doubting anybody or anything, you would straight away go to the door and open it up for anybody who would come. So doubt as a feeling in human exists so that you can take a rational decision at times when there are emergency situations or something. It buys you some time to make the decision. But why does doubt as a feeling exist in human for their partners? Let us understand the reasons. We are going to break it into three major reasons. First one being experience. Second, we'll talk about a process of the brain or a mechanism called sensory gating that we will understand. And the third word, imagination. Let's begin with experience. You might have had a childhood where you saw your parents or one of your parent may be cheating upon each other. So in childhood you had those experiences and you're still carrying those traces from the past to your current relationships. Or you could have experienced that in your past relationships. So for example, your current partner or any past relationship of yours, you might have been cheated upon and you are still carrying those doubts with you. You're still carrying those traces from the past in your current experience. You might have chosen to forgive them but not completely. You're still carrying those feelings with you. You've yet not been able to overcome those feelings. So that is why you still doubt your partners. Now let's talk about sensory gating. The mechanism of human brain, how does it perceive information from the outside and how does filtering out of the unnecessary information which is out there is filtered out. For you to understand this better, let's do an activity. Now for this activity, I would want you to close your eyes gently. Close your eyes and think of the color green. When the picture of the color green is there in your head, look around the whole room. Look around the whole room and come back. Now, I will ask you just one question. What did you notice the most? You must have noticed things that were of color green, didn't you? You noticed how the focus was entirely on the color green. This also happens in real life. So when your focus is on negative things, when your focus is on things that you get suspicious about. So I had one client, this lady would be triggered by or be startled by even her husband touching his phone. Whenever he would go out, he leaves his phone behind, or whenever he go out in the balcony, she would have the urge to check his phone. And at times she would also be very curious about the people that he's hanging out with, what is he doing and who is he talking to. I mean, this tendency of her grew so much that even if this husband of hers touches his phone, she would be startled. So where is your focus? Is your focus entirely on the things that you're suspicious about, or you're focusing entirely upon something negative about your partners. If you're focusing upon the negative things, your brain will tend to collect evidence in that particular direction and it will filter out everything else. Like you focused on the color green, your brain only collected color green from the entire scenario and filtered out everything. So the feeling of doubt also originates because your focus was on doubt. Your focus was on those activities that your husband or your wife or your partner is doing wrong instead of things that they are doing right. Your brain will not focus upon the positive things, rather only on the suspicious aspects about them. So this is how focus and sensory gating comes into picture, and this is why the feeling of doubt originates. Now let's talk about imagination. We'll talk about three things here: conditioning, information, and peer group. Let's talk about a person whose job is as a financial auditor, or maybe even in a manufacturing unit where they have to pick the altered or wrongly manufactured items. So their focus out of 100 things will entirely be upon the one thing that has been manufactured wrong. So your conditioning or your meta programming will be in such a manner that you are used to looking at wrong things. Also, your culture and your surroundings also tend to develop this conditioning in you. Once this is your conditioning, and in case you do not break your state from there, when you're in that job where you act as an auditor, you pick wrong things, if you do not come out from that mental state, you will bring this back to your home and will project this on your partner or your relationship. Now also you will start imagining things that might go wrong, because that's your job to do, right? So even in your relationship you will start doing it. You will start imagining things like if they cheat you someday, you will start imagining it. And how will it affect your relationship? I will soon let you know. Information. The kind of TV shows that we see, the media or the books that we read, the fictions or the real scenarios that we see, all the information that is being fed to our minds also leads to the generation of all the feelings in us, right? So if you see some crime shows where all of this keeps happening all day night long, and if you binge watch such shows, then also you will tend to imagine such things about your partner in your own life. And then your peer group plays a very, very important role. How? If something happens to your best friend, you will also think that this is going to happen to me also. Or if not, you will human as a species is very averse to uncertainty. So future is all full of uncertainty. You want to fill it up with some kind of information. So for example, this happens with your friend, you will also want to know that in case this happens to you, because this is an uncertain situation, you will try to fill it up with unnecessary imagination. You will try to imagine something to fill that void. You will start imagining, in case that starts happening to me also, what will happen, what will I do, what kind of decisions will I do. And the brain does not have a mechanism to differentiate between reality and imagination. So let's say, for example, I ask you, how did you brush your teeth today morning? This is something that you're recalling from your past. Just close your eyes and recall how you brushed your teeth today in the morning. And now I will ask you, how will you brush your teeth tomorrow? This will be an imagined event in your head. Now both of these images will be just the same. There's no difference how your brain recalls a past event or how it imagines something. So there's no difference between reality and imagination in your head. So because you do not know what's the reality and what did you imagine, you will end up doubting your partner real time in reality. Now let me come to the consequences of doubting your partner. I've written just one thing here, and that is toxicity, because there is nothing else that can happen as a consequence of doubting somebody. There will only be toxicity. You will end up intoxicating your relationship, your bond, your mental and physical health and whatnot. And now let us move on to how to stop doubting. The first one being keep a check on your focus. We've already talked about the focus here, the process of sensory gating, how perception happens, and if you focus on something, that is what you end up noticing, and that is how your behavior also tends to generate, right? So you need to keep a check on your focus. You need to ask yourself whether you're thinking about wrong things about your partner, whether you're focusing on the negative aspects of your partner or the positive ones. And how can you do that? You can do that by checking your thoughts. And also, at times you're not able to check your thoughts, right? So instead you check your feelings. Check how you feel when you're around them. If you're feeling good, that's okay, there must be very positive thoughts, but if not, if you're feeling bad when you're around them, you need to check your thoughts and you need to check your focus, whether you were focusing on their negative aspects, on things that you don't like about them. If you catch yourself doing that, change them right away, right there and then. Write some things about them that they do right. Write down a few things that you like about them. This is how you can kill this feeling of doubt, of suspicion, or any negative emotion about them in such a manner, And also remind yourself of the times when you were proven wrong about them. So, for example, you doubted them and then you looked for evidence, you didn't get any. Remind yourself of such times, that when your focus was entirely in a negative zone, when your thoughts were wrong about them. So we'll move on to the second one, which is communication. To have an effective communication with your partner is really, really important. Now I've written here communication, not investigation, because you should treat them innocent until they're proven guilty, just like court of law does. You treat them innocent. You don't behave with them like they're already at fault before they're proven so. So treat them innocent. And also, to have effective communication, you need to delete a few things from the communication, and these are deletions, distortions and generalizations. What do I mean by this is, if there is something being deleted from the communication, this will clearly have a very negative impact on your communication pattern, and this could be in any relationship. So do not hold back any information from them, do not hold back any emotions. Even if you feel the urge to check their phone, let them know. Not straight away, maybe, if that's not comfortable with you, just let them know that something is bothering you. You could have a good communication with your partner. The second one is distortion. If they are giving you some information, you distort it. This is also going to very negatively impact your relationship. If they are telling you something but you're understanding something else, so this is called distortion, and you need to get rid of this. The third one is generalization. So if something happened with your friend, if somebody cheated on her, doesn't necessarily mean that your partner will also do that. All men are like that, all women are like that. So these are some generalizations that you need to stay away from. You need to get rid of these DDGs and have a very effective communication with your partner, and in that way you can overcome this feeling or this constant doubting your partner. Let's move on to the third one, and this is ask for evidence from yourself. Just like court of law, like I said, ask for evidence from yourself. Whenever you catch yourself doubting your partner, whenever you feel the need to investigate or spy on them, ask for evidence from yourself. Why am I even doing it? What is it backed by? This intention of mine, what is it backed by? Is there any evidence that I have to think about them in that direction? And if you don't get any, stop right there and then. There is something with you that you need to get rid of, not about them. If you don't get any evidence, if they didn't do anything wrong and you're still doubting them, this is just your own insecurity and you need to get out of it. Get out of that mental state. And how can you do it? Is by getting into the roots of your suspicion. How? If you're finding yourself suspecting your partner, date it back to when it happened first. Like I said here, that it could have rooted from your childhood, it could have come from past events of cheating. So even if your partner is not cheating on you, you might have had those traces from your past that you are still carrying in this current relationship of yours. So date it back to when it happened first, and then you will get to know the ownership of these thoughts or behaviors. At times you will notice that these are not even your thoughts. This behavior was not even generated from your own thoughts, but you rather picked it up from somebody else. You might have seen your father or your mother doing that, or anybody for that matter would have done that in the past, and you picked it up just like other habits of yours, like we pick it up from other people. You might have picked this habit of doubting somebody from somebody else. So whenever you find yourself doubting anybody, check the roots of your suspicion and then date it back and check the ownership of these thoughts or behaviors. And if you find that they are not your own and they're not serving any positive purpose, drop them right there. And then build sustainable habits. I won't say that you jump from 0 to 100, just in a matter of day you change your entire behavior or your entire thought process. Rather go from 0 to 10 and then try to go from 10 to 20, and then ultimately you will reach 100. So the last one being intuition and gut feeling. So human is a blessed species to have this one in our system. This is to take emergency decisions without involving the cognitive aspects of our brains. So this is how you can get to know whether your partners are cheating on you or not. Trust your intuition and gut feeling. To build a healthy relationship, you must get over this need of doubting your partners. You must always inculcate positive feelings of trust and faith in your partner and your own self. This is how you build a healthy, sustainable relationship. Subscribe to my channel right there to see such more videos, and like this video, comment, share with your friends, and don't forget to come back next week. If you want me to share the mind maps that I use in my videos, drop down your email IDs in the comment section below and I will share them with you.